Cinebois to Cinemen, episode 93.
93.
Not 94, as suggested by our Instagram story.
Yeah, no, ignore that.
Yeah.
It was a mistake, a big one.
Yeah.
One not made by me, which is nice.
Most of the mistakes are made by me. I hope you're well, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. This week, Bugonia.
Yep.
Lanthimos' sort of remake. Is it a remake, do you think?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Do we like to put commas on that, or of the inverted variety?
Yeah, let's put some inverted commas on it just in case
Yeah.
I'm totally wrong. But I'm fairly sure it's a remake of Save the Green Planet,
Yeah.
which we were going to watch,
Yeah.
and we decided not to because it wasn't available easily.
I mean, I have seen it, but a long time ago.
Okay, I've not seen it.
Almost to the point where I couldn't really tell you, but, you know.
Yeah. This
is a great start, isn't it? So with it being a remake, we thought we'd talk a little bit about the kind of Hollywood remake of foreign movies.
Yeah.
We also wanted to talk about, and this was your suggestion, Ben, which something I really like, which is the kind of the aliens among us.
Yeah, yeah. Like, we've talked about Under the Skin before, but it's such a wonderful film that immediately popped into my head after coming out the cinema. We're going to see Bugonia, and then a host of other films have sort of cropped up as well. So it'd be great to talk about that as a theme.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Questing the cinematic void.
Aliens.
Yep. Not James Cameron's Aliens. Sorry, totally derailed you then.
No,
Go.
aliens around us. I'm actually feeling quite heavy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
not because of any sort of extraterrestrial life form sort of dormant in my, it's just loads of potato.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
Weird that, like, so many times, which every time you come over, I always end up being, like, full of potato.
Right before the podcast, you're just like, this is definitely a good idea.
Yeah.
The 93rd time, it can't. I know the 92nd time didn't go brilliantly, but the 93rd,
You just always sort of feel quite guilty and sweaty after you eat lots of potato.
Yeah,
you can't quite put your finger on why it is you feel so guilty, but
I think just carbs just make you tired, don't they?
Yeah.
If you're a human, if you're an alien, maybe not.
do email in
Yeah, if you're an alien,
if you have sort of the
have
appropriate
email.
appendages.
Yeah.
But then one assumes if you've mastered space travel, you probably would be able to send an email.
Yeah, which is quite often a good sort of plot hole finder in the alien among us.
Yeah, Signs is a great example.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Space travel, but mahogany doors. Back off.
Yeah. They can't-
Fucking no chance.
Can't
What the
open
fuck is
doors.
that?
yeah, I just love it. They're just scratching their head like, oh Christ,
He's closed the door again.
they've got us here. This is
it.
advanced.
I hope there's no water in the atmosphere.
Yeah. Nah. Should we check?
Or Mel Gibson in the house.
Yeah. But no, it's just like one of those things that the logic starts to fall apart if the film is. I actually really like Signs.
I
but-
do too. We've defended it a lot on this podcast.
Yeah, but it is
all we do,
funny
really.
to sort of think about it on those terms.
Yes. It's enjoyable, isn't it? But I think we make the same argument when we sort of talk about horror movies. Like, if you go into a film and you attack it from the logic of the sort of daily logic that you inhabit, you're not going to be able to suspend your disbelief at all. I think you can do it. Look, and I get the appeal of it, as you know, of having a sort of poking fun at a film and the illogical nature of it, like those elements and Signs.
Yeah.
But it also
exactly, yeah.
rewards on a much deeper and better level, or more profound level, if you could just park those reservations at the door and just settle into the internal logic of the film.
Like, what's the intent? The intent is like clearly to provoke an emotional reaction. I think it sort of largely succeeds. I'm talking specifically about Signs now. But actually, no, that's a real strength of the film. Is like afterwards you can be like a lot of this doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
But the story in and of itself is contained enough for it to be like, sort of a suspension of disbelief can be reached, and then afterwards, is your own is its own territory, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah.
Funnily enough, I mean, Bugonia had that. I think the sort of inverse happened for me with Bugonia and then you texted me after you saw it. We'll talk about it properly in a bit, but our opinions on it were at a level when we left the cinema, and then have changed. I think.
Yes,
Like, I think
agreed.
so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Which is quite, I mean, not unusual for like a Lanthimos film. They exist in their own space, but sometimes a film is like you open that door and it's gone. Like it's sort of
Yeah,
Ant-Man and the
yeah.
Wasp was like that for me, and it's such a stupid comparison, but like it's just that it's just vanished. Like I was talking to Alfie today about Last Night in Soho, and he was like,
right. I've still not seen it.
It's one of those films you watch it and it's done, and that's it. It just vaporizes.
Right.
There's nothing. There's like no tangibility or long lasting nature of
Doesn't linger within.
no.
No.
But Bugonia did.
Well, there you go. Take that, Edgar. Right.
Yeah. Huh.
This film, Running Man's out soon, isn't it? Actually,
Yeah, the reviews still aren't out, which is strange because it's out like tomorrow.
is it out tomorrow?
I think so. On
I really liked the original quite a great deal.
Do you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Schwarzenegger one.
I do. Yaphet Kotto. He's also in it.
Oh man, he's an alien, of course, and Nightmare on Elm Street 6. So
There we go.
yeah, career.
Quite the resume.
Yeah.
Better than anything I'll ever do. Yeah, no, I think sort of thinking in that theme of alien films. I mean, obviously, or aliens among us or amongst us.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a potential for a story about apocalypse, the destruction of humanity as we know it.
Absolutely.
But there's also an opportunity for films that have this sort of idea where the aliens reside amongst us, and they what they're doing is still. So the case of Under the Skin, which we'll probably talk a little bit more about later, the alien
looking forward to it. Yeah.
is ensnaring men and turning them into like a liquefied sort of pate, sort of galactic pate.
That's right, and that's largely the book, isn't it?
Yeah, so the book
source
goes into more
material.
detail. So the book's by Michael Faber, I want to say.
Okay.
My dad lent it to me and I still haven't read it because my reading pile just keeps getting bigger and all the books are at the bottom just stay at the bottom.
Oh,
and they don't rise up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Mr. Men books.
How long have you been?
Well,
It's been-
there's hundreds of them and you have to reread them at least 6 times to really get the
meat.
Yeah, the meat.
The
Yeah.
subtext.
Yeah, exactly.
Huge.
Mr. Tickle's meat.
Yeah.
But 35. But so yeah, the film explores that background. This idea that the sort of this kind of male human paste that they make in this kind of machine or whatever is like a delicacy for the aliens.
Okay. Yeah. So they're getting
And by having
harvested.
by having the aliens living amongst the human beings on that planet, it is like a steady supply of this delicacy.
Okay.
So it doesn't make sense for them to destroy the human race.
So is it almost? Could you say there's
I
a
think.
sort of parallel with our as human beings, like farming practices?
Yeah, exactly. I guess so. Yeah. I think the film doesn't necessarily explore that in enough of a way, I think, to make that theme stick out.
It definitely is intriguing enough to make you want to kind of dig deeper into its
Absolutely.
lore. Though.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Whereas I think, the kind of those kind of films, it's about how the experience of being an alien, I guess how they see humanity.
Yeah.
And how
okay,
they interact with humanity. Obviously, it then informs, like, I guess, as an audience member, revelations about what it means to be human for ourselves.
Yes.
So you almost need this outside perspective to give kind of a greater level of insight into what the human condition actually is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I think Under the Skin's a fantastic example of kind of how the even amongst the kind of day-to-day banality and horror of the human experience, there is like almost a kind of a beauty to it that is captivating and enough to ultimately, spoilers, make the alien aspire to be a human.
Yeah, absolutely. In the third act,
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson, that scene where she's just looking at herself in the mirror, and whereas before in the film, there's a moment in which is it like a child on the verge of drowning? She just doesn't understand the.
Well, she's there for one
stakes.
thing and one thing only. So
anything
else is just collateral.
Yeah, it's just like totally not.
Or not even. Yeah, just not even worth it's almost like that kind of the predator instinct. There is no consideration for anything else but achieving what it is that you need.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I think the film as well. Funny enough, we didn't get to watch Save the Green Planet, which probably would have informed the discussion far better, especially when we talk about Bugonia. But I did watch Species last night.
Okay, go on. Nice. Yeah.
And I have, again, another film I have seen, but I probably was about 15 when I saw it. And because of the amount of nudity in it, I can't imagine I'd have watched it for the sci-fi content, to be honest with you.
Right, okay.
A lot of Forrest Whitaker naked, which, no, he isn't. Before you'll flock to the film, I don't want to missell it, which, it's a fair reason to watch it. This mythical version of Species with a lot more Forrest Whitaker's cock and bollocks in it. There is a film, just quickly, where he gets an erection and it pulls us through his trousers. He's like a prison guard. It's like a prison experiment thing with Adrian Brody. What's that called?
Oh, that one, yeah. That's
weirdly,
I can't fist DVD cover.
I cannot remember anything about.
I think
the
it's
film.
just called The Experiment.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
that makes sense. I can't remember anything else about the film apart from the bit where Forrest Whitaker's presumably prosthetic cock bulges in his trousers.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that stayed with me from that film.
Would it be?
So it's like yours and Alfie's last night at Soho. Maybe it needed more bulging erections, and it might have stayed.
Oh yeah, mate. I wouldn't have forgot that.
Edgar Wright's bulging erection.
Yeah, director cameo. I mean, if it's prosthetic, does that mean it's out at some point, or is it through?
No, you just see it bulging through what look like sort of fairly sort of semi-fashionable, but yet functionable cargo trousers.
At that point, it depends on if he's a method actor or not. Because if he's a method actor, he would have requested a prosthetic. Yeah, or
right. Okay,
or
sorry.
Got an actual. Yeah. But there's not
anyone involved.
Right in the experiment.
Please write in. Yeah, the experiment. Were you involved?
That just
or are you Forrest Whitaker?
Yeah, and if you are,
also email in.
Yeah, please do. I think I remember seeing the experiment in like a WH Smith's or in like Reading Services or something.
That sounds about right.
Kind of like where it belongs.
Was it in a wire basket?
Yeah, a lot of security stuff around it.
Oh,
You have to go up to like the till and be like, I want to buy this. Can you take this like huge plastic chunky thing off, kind of thing? Anyway,
and she's just thinking. She says to you as it comes off her, Forrest Whitaker, and you go, yeah.
What do you think? I'll come all the way to Reading. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. It's just a weekday. It's a weekday for me. I don't work away.
I'm going to go home till 3 a.m.
Yeah, she's really going to start wondering where I am. Yeah. Doing a lay-by with a
Of course, when you come
DVD
home with
player.
a copy of the DVD in your hand, she'll be like, well, fair enough. Why don't you just say?
Yeah, just chuck it on. I don't mind. It's a good scene. Species.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, my memory of it, it's weird that when you have, like, an expectation based on a vague memory and the film kind of delivers on that memory.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
in the sense that it's a very,
quite a unique film then.
I think so in a sense. I mean, it's kind of like there's a real B movie aesthetic to it, and almost a B movie idea to it. It feels kind of weirdly adjacent to kind of like the sort of sci-fi films of the sort of 50s. There's something about that lingering around, but it's then just sort of stuffed through the sort of lens of horny 90s cinema.
Is it CG? Is there some early examples of CG?
There's a lot of amazing design. So Geiger designed the actual alien.
Oh, yes.
And obviously Geiger's work needs
Wonder
no
why they got him.
Yeah. But there is basically like an Alien 3 where like the alien stuff's pretty good until the CGI comes out.
Yeah, right.
The CGI is dreadful. But it's that period, I don't think you could be too harsh on it for that really.
So it basically doesn't hold up to getting upscaled and scanned for like DVD and Blu-ray or streaming.
No, it's really poor. You can't.
Like,
do
in the
it.
cinema, it's all the grain is running.
Yeah,
through the gate.
I think maybe the
Doesn't
cinema would
matter
look
as much.
better.
Yeah.
I think it came out in '95. I want to say. So
Yeah,
I mean,
95.
it's not a great time for visual effects in that sense. I don't think.
But did it succeed in like the plot? It is evidently about kind of like the Thing style creature among.
Yeah, so
right?
the idea is that SETI sent out
Set like sofa.
Yes, there's a sentient no. SETI send out sort of loads of different signals across the galaxy into the well, I don't know, universe. I don't really know a lot about space. You'd be shocked to discover. And it's like lots of stuff about humans, like the human culture, the genetic makeup of humans. And in the world of species, they get a signal back that the first signal is alien life forms giving them basically a clean energy source.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And then the second one is like a DNA thing that they can inject into the humans. So this alien is kind of half human, half alien.
Okay, yeah.
And played by young Michelle Williams at the start.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
which she's so young, she's almost unrecognisable. Like I was watching it with Georgia last night, and I was like, because you know how much I love Michelle Williams as an actor. She's
great,
one of my favourites, and I was kind of like, I swear I recognise her. And she was like, it's Michelle Williams. I was like, no, she's not. That's not. Do you know when someone just looks so different when they're young?
Yeah.
But this alien can develop rapidly. Anyway, so they're about to kill this alien because the testing is like dangerous or whatever. I don't know. Again, not very well explored because it's the exposition of the film is dense, but not really where it should be.
Right. Okay.
It's not snappy enough to be sort of meaningful and part of the story. But where it is, it just lingers for far too long.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, she escapes and then develops and is looking for a man to reproduce with.
Right.
To like basically kickstart the kind of next stage of what is human evolution, which is the fusion between humans and this alien DNA.
Right. Nice. Yeah.
So the film centers on the idea of, it's the reverse role, right? So the female is the predator.
Yeah.
And the female's sort of success is largely dependent on the fact that men are typically used to being the ones that are in the ascendancy.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
So it's an inversion of that in that sense. So a lot of the success that she has, it's men that are either, cocky and overconfident and think they can kind of win her around with their looks or their own physicality. Or it's men that are kind of either quietly or all too aware of their own inadequacy.
Right,
so she
yeah.
sort of preys on those sort of differing areas of each kind of masculine archetype, I guess. And and as she settles for LA, and she just tries to turn it into some kind of like cross species bonk fest, whilst being sort of shadowed by Ben Kingsley, Forrest Whitaker, who plays an empath.
Oh, okay.
So he walks around going, "She's over here. She feels sad." Obviously, just he's just a walking plot device to sort of keep the plot moving forward. Then there's fucking Michael Madsen's in it.
Yeah,
who's
right.
bizarrely one of the best things about the film in terms of performances. It's kind of like he plays this really laid back government contract sort of guy that hunts things, but he's almost like laid back to the point of being horizontal.
Right. Okay.
And there's something quite interesting about that. I've always found his acting style really interesting anyway. And it's just a really sort of interesting film. And I was thinking as I was watching it, like it kind of is really quite comparable to Under the Skin in the way that they treat the sexualization of the feminine form. And
okay, yeah.
Because the lead actress who plays Species is just your, very sort of, and I don't mean this in a way that's dismissive of her, but of her talents, but she's, in the eyes of many people, I'm sure in the eyes of marketing, she's the archetypal sort of Hollywood beauty.
Yeah, right, okay. And they're riffing on that, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. So the writers are probably riffing on it, but I can imagine the marketing and material and a lot of the people that are watching it, i.e. me when I was 15, weren't thinking like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm ashamed to say. And it just made me think about that in comparison or in contrast to Under the Skin, which is, I think a large part of the film's success and the way it explores the kind of otherworldly nature of this character is because it takes a stratospheric star like Scarlett Johansson, who is obviously a well-known performer, but obviously someone that's highly sexualized throughout her career.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And they almost mute that aspect of her to try and get her to fit in to the kind of landscapes I guess we'd be more familiar with. I mean, I know the film's set in Scotland, but, if you've been to one fucking like shopping centre or shopping area in a town or city in Great Britain, you've seen them all, right? They're kind of drab, sterile, shitty, cultureless, nightmarish places.
Yeah, awful. Yeah.
And ironically, these are places where the ideas, the idea of, or the kind of portals into the world that Scarlett Johansson inhabits are kind of there as advertising to sell things.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just really strange, and I think it heightens the fact that she is an alien because you're seeing her like walk around like a shopping centre and going to what looks like a kind of Boots or a pharmacy and buying makeup or
that's right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, and the
Talking
camera,
to just random blokes.
and the cameras and the way it's shot, it's very deliberate. I mean, Glazer was very specific about that. I think in saying that the film is almost shot to kind of deprive her of that cinematic quality and to deprive her of all of that kind of the kind of Hollywood mythology, that is such a big part of her and her success. And I think a lot of kind of women in Hollywood and perhaps to a slightly lesser extent men as well, but I think a lot of their kind of allure or beauty comes from the fact that they have a screen presence, that they're on billboards. It heightens them in a way that beautiful people who just got comparatively more normal lines of work don't have. Do you know what I mean?
You only have to look at posters with for films that have like a kind of female lead, even like a superhero. And Scarlett Johansson especially, the way they're posed is kind of almost sort of slap you in the face, kind of objectifying. But like,
yes,
it's very, and so to have her in Under the Skin, it's clever on in a lot of different ways. And I know we've already talked about it, but just like. You're right. It does contribute to that alien because it doesn't hold your hand. Like it's not immediately obvious. But as the film goes on, you naturally kind of arrive at the point. You're like, there's like one shot at the beginning of like 3 lights spinning in the sky. It could be anything. It could be like the remnants of a rave or something. And,
yeah.
And then you're just with her for the majority of the film, and obviously the ending, which is really striking. That ending. And the way, obviously, what's happening with her and these men contribute to the idea of like, okay, who is she? Is it she? Is it? Is it like, what's going on? Like, what's the kind of ultimate objective? And obviously, like you say, the book makes it a lot more clear. But the film is just so wonderful for basically low key sliding you this totally alien concept, and those the scenes where she's dragging the men into the water and then they like pop like a balloon.
Yeah, it's that kind of weird like black sort of molasses like fluid.
Yeah. How did they shoot that? Mad.
One of them are only sort of more overt sci-fi sequences in the film.
Yes.
The rest of the film is, the latter stages of the film, obviously there's a lot more shots of her driving through like the beautiful sort of rugged Scottish landscapes, but a lot of it is kind of urban in spaces, nightclubs, but not like kind of like nightclubs that are like, part of some major cultural movement. It's just nightclubs playing chart music. It's like I said, pharmacies playing, again, more sort of chart music, and it's all sort of headacheingly inducingly lit. There's nothing cinematic. And of course, the Scarlett Johansson herself driving around Scotland in a white van, picking up people, and a lot of which, was as authentic to be kept as authentic as possible. The cameras are positioned, almost like dash cams, or So there's like a sort of seeing her in that real world context enforces those ideas about the alien.
That's it.
Because she is alienated. There's no way you would expect, because of the way that we frame the Hollywood leading actress or the Hollywood lead in any capacity, the mythology of Hollywood denies them the right to have a normal life. Now, I'm not saying that in a way, woe is them sort of thing, because I'm sure they're...
Oh, yeah.
I know it's more, yeah, exactly. I know it's a bit more complicated that, but fundamentally, they're doing very well indeed.
Yeah. Of course,
but, there's something about that reinforces the themes that you were just talking about. And I think, I'm pretty sure like a lot of the people she shares scenes with in the van didn't really know who she was.
No, I think maybe what Glazer's trying to do is incite that reaction in people where you look at her and you go, it can't be her. And then that informs your subsequent behaviour, and the way they look at her in those scenes is like, you can see in their eyes, they're like, is that? Who is that? I recognise.
And of course, they still fancy her because she's still, for the sake of the character, or she still has to
She's got her kind of allure, doesn't she?
yeah, she has to kind of have this allure.
Weaponized.
Yeah, exactly. Very much like Species. But,
yeah, there we go. Yeah.
but Species, she's more, it's accentuating that beauty. So,
Yes.
she, and weirdly, one of my favourite scenes in Species is she gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
And then some guy who's like the most classic looking American hunk of the 90s you've ever seen. Like, he has like combed back sort of hair that comes to his ears and a forehead that you could land a helicopter on. But yet somehow he's still really rugged. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
And handsome.
yeah.
And he's obviously quite ripped. He saves her and she goes into hospital. Then she just miraculously heals herself because she's an alien. And he pays for her treatment on a whim.
Right,
And then as he's about to leave, she comes out and he's like, "Didn't you just get hit by a car?" She's like, "I'm all right. Come with me." And obviously he's like, "Yes, please."
Yeah, right, okay.
But like, then it ends with him taking her back to her house, and she gets in a hot tub and strips bollock naked.
Right,
At
yeah.
first, he's like, "Cash back,"
Yeah, okay.
and he gets in, and she's really like forceful with him
Right.
because obviously her objective isn't pleasure; it's procreation.
Okay.
So, and she says to him, "I want a baby," and he's like, "Whoa!"
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
And then
Playing on that.
and then
yeah.
Kingston. Why am I talking about the capital of Jamaica? Fucking Kingsley,
Right.
Ben Kingsley, classic cook behaviour.
Oh, go on.
Just bursts from a door or something with Michael Madsen and co. in tow.
Oh, they know where
and,
this...
and disrupts it. They find out because of his credit card. It's all again. The film is plotted dreadfully.
Yeah.
The characters are largely really crap. It's one of those films you can really see the writers. You can see the decisions that the writers have made to try and make it make sense.
Oh, okay.
So they've gone, how do we get this to happen for this and this to happen to this?
Yeah.
It's like trying to make things narratively watertight, but openly leaving you thinking, well, this just, and again, I'm all there to surrender my disbelief, but if the logic, I'm not looking for logic that applies to my everyday experience, because if it did, it'd be a fucking boring film. I'm looking for a logic that makes sense in the world they've created. And if they can't make sense of that logic, then the film's in trouble, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But I don't know, like there's some charm to it, and that scene's really interesting to me because, everything's laid out on a plate for him, and he's like, "Fuck it," she's being so full on.
Yeah, right, okay. It's funny,
which is again an inversion of that kind of the power roles when it comes to sex and the way the sexualization of the feminine form, etc., and all that sort of stuff, particularly in obviously visual culture.
But it's reversed, so it's the alien, the species, the alien is basically utilizing our kind of men's weakness to that kind of specific type of form we think is attractive.
Yeah.
And rather cleverly, kind of breaking.
It's just one of the best scenes for it that illustrated it, and it didn't feel like the script was being too. Again, it's very much on the nose, but I liked it. It ends with her deciding that Michael Madsen is the perfect man to have sex with.
Okay,
out of all the human beings, not just in LA, but in the entire world.
In the entire
Michael
world,
Madsen.
it's him. Right.
But he ends up copping off with a member of the team that's pursuing the alien, who's an actress that's in a lot of. I think she's in CSI something. She's like a regular in that.
Right. Okay.
Ends with you almost seeing him receiving fellatio.
Okay.
Which I thought was a bit odd. And then I'm got to
nearly as in. He's
well, the actress sort of like hungrily peels his underwear off, which I imagine are quite sweaty after a day of alien hunting.
Mate, yeah.
And a couple of Long Island iced teas as well. I can't imagine when you've had a few of those, your sort of genital and rectal maintenance is especially high.
No. Better than like 6 Guinnesses, I suppose.
Oh, God, yeah. Good God, yeah. If pina coladas, it'd have been a lot worse. But,
yeah. Okay.
And then she ends up having sex with Alfred Molina, who's also in it. I don't know if I said he was.
Yeah, no, I clocked his name on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, and it's quite a full-on sex scene.
Is it? He's such a character actor, isn't it? I imagine he'd say yes to that. He'd be like, yep, cool, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of sold on it, really.
It's just a real great. I don't know. It's I think it's somewhere along the line. There's something quite lofty there, and the
Yeah.
presence of H.R. Geiger is obviously, his creation looms large over the genre at this point in the 90s, right? I think there was a sort of, I remember, as a kid, seeing a lot of alien stuff around. There was almost like an alien revival, obviously with Aliens and Alien 3, and I think there was almost like it was back. And
Resurrection was 97, I think.
Yeah,
so
right,
like
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
The
I remember being in
90s
Toys R Us as a kid and seeing just a wall of alien figures, like.
Oh man, that's crazy. Isn't it?
And it was in my
merchandise.
consciousness so much. I'm sure I've said this on the podcast, but I had a nightmare on Christmas Eve because I ate too many pickled onions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I vomited, and I woke. I had a dream that a xenomorph was eating my innards. And I woke up and ran downstairs crying and vomited in the hallway.
That is Geiger doing that
Yeah.
to you.
Geiger has
And the
haunted me
pickled
since a
onions,
very
obviously.
young age. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Toys R Us.
I'm gonna definitely watch Species. It's reminding me of Starship Troopers in that kind of adventurous 90s lurid kind of overlit style, right?
Yes, but Verhoeven uses that deliberately.
Yeah,
And
yeah, whereas I think-
he's skilled and smart enough to know, and we talk about this a lot with him, but he knows that to make a film about something as kind of full on as Starship Troopers is, which is obviously based on a book that's a critique of fascism. Am I right in
Yeah,
saying?
that's right. Yeah.
So he knows that he has to use all of the kind of stylistic and narrative devices of that time to hammer home that message.
Yeah.
So it almost becomes a comment within itself. The style and the form is intrinsic to it.
Okay.
Whereas I think in this case is just a film made in this period.
Right,
And,
yeah.
you know.
But it's got the same, because the standards of that day would have been largely similar with regards to like a
Sorry,
kind of
yeah,
a
I just
blockbuster.
kinda- yeah.
No, you're right though, because Verhoeven was doing something else. Whereas I think Species sounds a lot more surface level, but like you
Yes.
say, with
With its own charms. And
and not being afraid to kind of critique the kind of male gaze, I suppose.
Yeah.
Same with like Life Force and stuff. Has a similar idea, and like Nightmare on Elm Street 3 as well. With
There's still a lot of tits in it, though. I mean, I guess you can still tell that the criticism has about as much mileage as it can from a film directed by a bloke.
isn't it an excuse? Yeah, for like
I mean, I don't know. I mean, your mileage may vary. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
best of both worlds. You get the teenagers audience in, and then you also get the intellectuals as well. You're like, this is a good critique. And
yeah, I don't know. I think it's somewhat hampered by that, I think, really. But, I mean,
Oh no, okay. That's interesting.
I think in its original idea, it was probably a bit more apparent. But yeah, no, I think there's just they combine well, those two films. That'd be an interesting double bill.
Oh, it would. I don't think it'll be a box set, but
Not until we endorse it.
I'd actually genuinely. It sounds like a great evening.
I think it sounds
Rick,
great.
get the popcorn out for Species and like some pizzas and some beers, and then when start about 5:30. Watch Species. Then when the evening's winding down, maybe switch to like G&T or just pina coladas. Maybe.
Okay.
Or no, actually not for Under the Skin. It would have to be a very grown-up drink. I think it'd be whiskey.
Negroni.
Yeah, okay, and then watch Under the Skin, and then go straight to bed. That sounds like a great evening. Obviously with friends as well. I should have mentioned that on your own. Maybe not a great evening. Maybe
Be hammered.
slightly sad. More than one pizza.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, Under the Skin for me is like one of the best films of the last sort of 15, 20 years. And, I just think that doing that, I'm a sucker for, I guess, the notion of taking some sort of lofty and grand sci-fi concept as the human condition and localizing it and situating it in a space that you wouldn't attribute that kind of narrative to exist in, but its success as a film is so dependent on the kind of desexualized nature of the Hollywood leading lady. Well, not only that, but also the kind of situating it in amongst the kind of the riffraff.
Yeah, Scotland. But not like beautiful Scotland, at least not initially. And I think actually her finding her humanity and connecting more weirdly kind of comes with the move away from the urban space.
Yeah, I think moving away from the spaces where the kind of
where humanity's getting stripped of its value.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Totally
And
agree.
that's when she sort of finds herself in that, like, she kind of, it's like a B&B or something.
Because she meets a man who's quite kind to her.
Yes, that's
and
it.
they try and have sex. Obviously, he can't have sex.
That's it. Yeah.
Because it's just a skin suit, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. And that's why that's such that moment. So yeah, it really sticks in my mind actually. I struggle to think of any more films that are directly like Under the
As
Skin,
authentic as that, and sort
there's
of
like Arrival
grubby,
and like Annihilation, and like, we've kind of mentioned E.T. earlier briefly, which is very much more kind of in that Spielbergian section of An Alien Among Us, and it kind of played not for laughs, but the fact that they have to hide him is kind of a plot device. Initially, and I think it's less about the alien's intentions other than it needs to go home. Whereas, and we all know your aversion to ET as well.
As a child,
well documented phenomenon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Arrival briefly popped into my head because you never really find out why they come to Earth. I think are they just curious, or maybe I'm misremembering? Like,
it's been a long time for me.
The film just becomes about.
Let's watch the film.
Well, yeah. The film becomes more about time and how like time as a concept is different, like kind of like beings.
I remember liking again that it takes something as lofty as that and situates it more in the human experience.
That's exactly why it came to my head. It's actually all about Amy Adams, really. About her.
Yeah.
The loss.
That
of
I do remember
child.
slightly.
And her kind of her relationship and how she chooses a flawed existence over no existence. I kind of thought that was the sort of ultimate message of that film. But
They Live.
They Live, yes.
Yeah. That was over the potatoes.
That was, I think
something to do with eating copious of potatoes reminded me of Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Overconsumption, which is what the film.
Not an issue for Rowdy Roddy Piper, I'm sure.
Definitely not, but the film does criticise humanity for that.
Yes, I think it's the idea that, and a very overt one now. That is, but the idea that the way that human society has organised itself around sort of capital, it cannot be human. It just has to be a malevolent alien force that is doing it, It can't be the fault of human beings that things are the way they are,
I see.
And enter Rowdy Roddy Piper, Simpsons joke. Rowdy Roddy Piper stumbles across a pair of glasses that allow him to see the world for what it really is.
Yes.
And what a fucking ruddy good time that film is.
The design of the aliens is great. They're humanoid and they're actually quite sort of sickly looking.
Yeah.
Big buggy skeleton eyes.
Yeah.
And that obey thing that everyone wore hats of for a bit. Remember that? And
sort of ended up in sort of classic.
People didn't quite understand what it meant. But
again, there's a sort of real. I mean, there's a sadness in the sense that you could argue that all of that sort of the thematic power and potency of the film was undermined, and the powers that were critiqued won. As something
sold back to us.
We talk about that quite a lot.
Yeah.
But
just a great idea, very overt, but John Carpenter, in the hands of Carpenter, who's done another like Alien Among Us film, a very, very, very well-known one, which we've discussed quite recently, The Thing.
Yeah.
Which I regrettably, last time I tried to watch, I fell asleep. Not because it's a bad film, but because I was hammered. I went to see Dan in Italy, and he put it on, and he was like, I can't wait to watch this. And then, you know how
we've done that a few times. We've all done it.
The alcohol just wins, and you're just, I felt so bad.
No film could keep you awake.
But like Carpenter can handle that kind of the overtness, I think, really well. And in hands of Carpenter, it feels genuine.
Yeah,
the critique of kind of hyper.
You certainly give it a lot more credence.
And what an era for it to be released in as well.
Yeah,
the mid-80s.
Yeah.
Where like Wall Street, the whole kind of Wall Street waspy thing was like huge, and America was just sort of. Yeah, obsessed.
It's just weird to me. I don't really know what the sort of rationale was behind casting a sort of wrestler. I know he'd been in a few films,
Yeah.
but I just love the idea of it, this sort of like larger than life. He's like an outsider, isn't he? So I guess he's the kind of antithesis of what success is.
Okay, yeah, maybe it was a decision which was meant to, like, 'cause obviously if they got a film star, they'd be by its very nature pandering to that kind of.
Yeah, that's a good
capitalism.
point. Yeah,
If
maybe.
you got a wrestler, it's a bit of left field, isn't it?
Yeah,
Similar
yeah.
to the casting of Johansson, actually.
Yeah.
In a strange way.
Well, there you go. You see, leave it to us to.
Glazer, Carpenter.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Rowdy Roddy Piper, Johansson.
yeah. Watch They Live if you haven't. I hadn't heard of it before university, and it was one of those films that bypassed me entirely because I knew of Carpenter, of course. Like I knew Halloween, I knew The Thing, and I knew even like Escape from New York and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And then its sequel. I knew about them, but They Live kind of was a bit of a blind spot for me.
He does have a few films that kind of, I think, disappear because his great films.
Yeah,
They cast such a big shadow. I think
that's it. There
films
is
like
a
The
few.
Fog and Christine and
The Fog, fuck man. I love that film.
yeah, I love it. It's great. They kind of disappear a little bit. I think.
Into the fog.
Yes. Yeah.
No.
Is Christine the one about the demonic car, the ghost car? I think
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
The Stephen King adaptation.
Yeah. I like that. It's good.
Yeah, they like there's a bit where the car starts like crumpling.
Yeah, heals itself.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and the way they did that with practical effects was like flawless.
Yeah,
Like,
it's amazing. Yeah, I think it's an Indicator Blu-ray actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
the transfer's
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff.
Very King. Very Stephen King. Evil car.
Yeah.
Can't help himself, can he?
Yeah. Evil something.
Yeah. Hedge maze. Evil fucking alien from, It or whatever.
Yes,
Actually, that's a bad example.
I agreed to it.
But so, what do you think then? How do we place Bugonia? Is it a good time to talk about Bugonia now in the context of all the other films we've discussed?
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about it. It's
Just leave it there.
next week.
Yeah, I think. I mean, spoilers. We're going to go straight into it. I think the film's ending puts it or pushes it closer to those kinds of movies.
Yeah, because the majority of the film is more concerned with conspiracy and conspiracy theories and how that how that kind of attitude has evolved, certainly in the United States post-COVID.
Yeah, the sort of symbiotic relationship between that sort of greasy-haired conspiracy theory peddling and that kind of sort of oppressively sterile, sort of preachy entrepreneurialship.
Yeah.
So there's almost like they kind of like feed one another. They're kind of opposite sides, I guess, in terms of their kind of societal position.
Yeah.
But at least in the sense of the way Bugonia frames them, you've got obviously the people who are, at least in the eyes of this film, or Lanthimos and those involved with him, the people that are most susceptible to conspiracy are those whose lives are under strain or stress, so from loss or
social issues,
or
like the way they react to society, maybe like mental health, that kind of stuff,
and the way in which the values of this new society have left them at the wayside.
Totally, completely.
So for all of this kind of CEOs talk about being progressive and inclusive and sort of helping humankind to a new dawn, the sort of day-to-day reality for the vast majority of people is that they are being left.
Yeah.
And it's because of that there is a susceptibility to this sort of idea that that there has to be more than just what it is. There's got to be some sort of conspiracy at play.
Yeah. The feeling very much is there's someone out to get me.
Yeah.
And actually what is out to get them is sort of right in front of them. But because of the way those people, like the sort of CEOs, are framing themselves as compassionate people, they're like, well, it can't be them. It has to be a higher dimension. There has to be like another dimension to this. And in the case of Jesse Plemons' character, he thinks it's an being from outer space who's trying to bring about the end of humanity, and that's how he perceives the hostility of his people around him in his life.
And there is a kind of something quietly apocalyptic about billionaire CEOs anyway. I mean, the way they are so detached from society, and the way that they can go on a podcast and talk about all these things, but yet their business mantra, which they seemingly spend a lot of time and money trying to obscure, on the one hand, they're furthering the human race, like Bezos, right? He's furthering the human race, but his employees have to piss in bottles. They can't go to the toilet. Do you know what I mean? So there's a clear disconnect between the image that he wants to paint himself in and the boots on the ground reality of the people that have basically given him that wealth and put him where he is,
Exactly, yeah.
So, and that's what feeds the conspiracy. And a lot of the time, these people are in cahoots with the powers that be, and it's a suspicion towards power that feeds conspiracy. So, if the powers that be are leaning into science, no matter how well researched or peer reviewed it is, because of its association with power, people are immediately suspicious of it.
Yeah.
And then they superimpose their own anxieties and their own whatever it is they're going through, and that it sort of feeds it. They need to do more research, they need to go deeper and to create their own kind of version of the world, which makes more sense to them, makes it more bearable, and gives them a reason to not conform.
Yeah.
And I have to say, what I think was one of the strongest things about the film, I don't know about you, but was the way that there's almost a sense of pathos given to people that I think are often so readily written off because of their insistence on, all their, I don't know if it is an insistence, but the fact that they use conspiracy to manage the more complex or difficult issues facing their lives in the world around them.
Yeah.
It treats them with
quite respect.
I think so. And I think that's quite a bold thing to do, given that a lot of the kind of theories that come to pass from conspiracy obviously have become increasingly ubiquitous and to the point of mainstream, to the point that it's increasingly damaging for like public health.
Yeah.
And safeguarding even the future of humanity. I think it's quite a brave move to go down to the ground level and humanise them.
Sorry,
I went on there.
No, it's fine. I think that sentiment can be boiled down to one, probably I don't want to say it's my favourite scene, but it's one of the most kind of powerful scenes, emotionally anyway, which brings you down to the level of these guys who, before, their position, the film is quite offbeat, as Lanthimos' films are. So they're positioned as slightly comic relief in places. This scene kind of kills it, is when he's basically chemically castrating them.
Yes.
There's a belief where they have to focus, right, to the point where they cannot think about anything else. And obviously the desire for sex would be a big distraction. So Jesse Plemons willingly chemically castrates himself, but then he's got his cousin who is very much kind of following the lead of Plemons' character.
Yeah.
And there are flourishes of him kind of confused about why they're doing the things they're doing.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where he's like, well, what if I want to be with someone? And it's so sad. Like you just kind of want to shout at him and be like, don't fucking do it. What are you doing? And clearly Plemons is sort of hard and fast, kind of like no distractions attitude is he's preventing this guy from potentially leading a reasonably normal life. And it's sort of the point of no return for him. And it's so like really, really sad. And in fact, the relationship between them two, in my mind, is the best thing about the film.
I would agree. Yeah, it's definitely one of the absolute strengths.
Yeah.
There's almost a dependence, isn't there?
Totally.
And someone's ability and the power of saying, I've done my own research.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think we've all probably heard that again in the post-COVID landscape. Probably heard that quite a lot, and
yeah.
obviously it's I think one thing that you probably don't give enough thought to is why are they doing that? They're obviously there's something genuine there.
Yeah.
I think it's when it becomes disingenuous is when you think that you can, challenge people who have spent their whole life studying something.
Yes,
That's when it becomes a problem. You're entitled to an opinion about anything, but the reality is that you are challenging. You are basically, you're attempting to undermine expertise.
Yeah,
which is an apocalyptic,
and like peer-reviewed stuff.
Yeah, and again, it's not that the people that are peer-reviewed and study a field for a very long time are always going to get things right, but they'll know a damn sight more about why they're wrong than you ever will.
Yeah, it's it's observational.
Yeah,
that's the difference. Is over time an observation of a phenomenon happening. Basically, that's sort of where science comes from.
Yeah,
and that's where, ideally, in an ideal world, we would all follow, but it's not that simple, unfortunately, because quite often the reality is quite boring and complicated.
Absolutely, yeah. And
it doesn't help.
I think to linger in that relationship and to have individuals who are genuinely struggling, their struggles are genuine, they're haunted by the loss of family, the death of an industry, the ecological impact of their sort of bee farm.
The bees,
which is all things that are having a huge impact on their lives, and I just think it was to give them that. I think it really kind of gives like an emotional depth to a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah,
and I think. I just thought it was, again, I think I've already said this, but I think
it was a bold move.
I think it was an interesting way to approach it and to try and sort of, I guess your mileage may vary with how effective the kind of foray into their psychology was, but I just felt that there was enough there to make you sort of begin to understand, no matter how much you might disagree with what it is they're saying and how dangerous you think what they're saying is. And in the case of the film, it's very much dangerous.
Yeah.
You can see the makeup, how they got there, and why it is that they're so driven by it.
Yeah.
Obviously, for the sake of the film, it's a very sort of extreme example. But I think, you can see how the appeal of having an opinion that is in total opposition to everything, the same powers that be that have made your life shit, made the quality of your life shitter.
Yeah.
You can see why that is and how that happens.
Oh yeah, no, completely. I think, and this is, you mentioned the ending. I think for me, where it goes undermines everything we've just said a bit.
Yeah.
It's such a left turn, and we're no strangers to endings with left turns, and I will defend one that came out this year with a very, very sharp left turn.
Yeah.
But for me, the kind of interesting ideas that concerning, particularly America, but humanity more broadly, and our tendency not to follow observational evidence and kind of the alternative avenues we can explore to the detriment of our own health and our own relationships. Like, I thought that was such a kind of interesting concept to have, and then the film became about something else entirely. It became about, well, you could argue that the ending, we should probably explain briefly like what happens at the end. It turns out that the CEO that they kidnapped is in fact an alien, right? Or at least maybe it's all a metaphor for something. I don't know. I'm still struggling to kind of.
Have you done any reading about it?
Yeah.
So what's the kind of consensus? Because I've actually kind of avoided it and tried to piece. I don't know. Like not deliberately. I've just kind of. I've got to do any research as usual.
So as far as I'm aware, the reason why the alien ultimately destroys humanity is because of the way that it's going. with regards to like
Right, our trajectory is yeah.
and she's seen that in these two poor souls, and she's like, there's that kind of moment where she's gets slightly emotional about it before killing everyone. Not the animals though, which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah. It's like a day the earth stood still kind of thing, isn't it?
Totally, yeah. It just became another film entirely, like immediately, and not an uninteresting film, but just it did undermine the kind of sad reality that it presented before it. I thought like 20 minutes before it happened, I thought, fuck, I hope she doesn't turn out to be an alien. And then she did, and I was a bit like confronted by that. Yeah, why does she destroy humanity? Maybe it's more complicated than she just doesn't like the way we are going. But slightly ham-fisted way to do it, maybe, I think.
Yeah. Are you sort of aware of the consensus towards the end?
Yeah, it's quite positive. Like,
right.
People were delighted by it, but evidently, like, they seemed to delight in the fact... Maybe I didn't get on board with the farcical nature of it all.
Right.
And I kind of saw it as more of a serious, like, the opening with the bees, and I kind of saw it as quite a serious film. And then this happened, and maybe I just missed it. But I think broadly, a lot of people thought it was more a comedy than I did.
Right.
And therefore, the ending kind of makes a bit more sense, because that is quite a funny joke.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
For Jesse Plemons to explode in a wardrobe, and then
that was quite funny.
Yeah, it was. I was just like, it was such an odd turn, and it just veered away from a lot of the building blocks that it had for me.
I broadly agree with you. I actually really liked the film. I thought it was good to see Lanthimos go back to something a bit more contained. I thought it was quite a muted film.
Yeah.
I think he spent a lot of time, he's quite a sustained dalliance in kind of big movies now, isn't he? And
yeah, this is mostly in a house.
Yeah, I liked that. And I remember you saying it kind of formally felt more akin to Dogtooth than anything he's done recently, and I would agree with that.
I think, yeah, definitely.
I don't know, like, it was nice to see it localized. Again, I liked... Yeah, I think the apocalyptic feeling was already there in the film throughout.
Yeah, okay.
As we talked about the kind of the increasingly mainstream nature of conspiracy theory and people's susceptibility to, whoever it is they admire telling them what to do.
Yeah, okay.
You know? So I thought that obviously has, blatant parallels to the modern, the modern landscape. Again, a shit in a lift. To sort of recycle and regurgitate that already overused metaphor, but I think a lot of the problem for me on the ending, and I'm just trying to unpack it now, was I think we spoke a little bit about this because we were both quite quiet on the film when we came out of the cinema, which is rare.
It is rare.
Usually we talk non-stop about from the moment our bums leave the seats. We adjourn for a kiss in the toilet cubicle, and then we get in your car and drive back. And you drop me off. We talk about it pretty much, but we didn't really do that with this film.
Not really, no.
And I think trying to unpack why that is, I think it was because I was trying to reconcile with how I feel about his style more broadly.
Okay.
And I have often found him, I think, at his best. Something I really enjoy. Like, I really like The Lobster. Obviously, Dogtooth for me is fucking great.
Yeah.
The Alps I like. So it's not that I don't like him as a filmmaker, but his style is, increasingly more overt with each film, I feel.
Yeah.
Even though this film feels more localized, there are bits in this film it just feels like, yes, that is the
kidnapping scene is very much him. It's that harks back to his sort of like use of the extreme wide angle lenses in The Favourite, and that sort of off kilter sensibility.
Sometimes wonder how, I don't know, and I don't know if it's necessarily his fault, but does it feel kind of like forced?
Yeah.
And when you think about the ending in that context, do you know what I mean?
Like, yeah.
And again, I don't know if that's necessarily his problem, or is it more us as viewers that, a style or an approach to, it's kind of quite rigid, isn't it? It's not, it hasn't moved a great deal in terms of the way his the way he approaches his scripts, which are already kind of quite, as you say, off kilter in the way that the dialogue unfolds. Or the exchanges between characters.
Yeah,
I thought this had more free-flowing moments in it, actually.
Poor Things was like all the off-kilter stuff. That was all it was.
Yeah.
This is some of that, particularly when they're sort of explaining to Emma Stone's character like what's going on. But also then there's, like you say, the moments of that free-flowing, like the moments between Jesse Plemons and his cousin is like very normal and very kind of understated.
Yeah.
So there are moments like that. But then the ending lapses back into, like, for a start, the it's really bizarre. Like, I don't know what he was going for with the design of the creatures, but they looked like they had like sort of knitwear on.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
And it was all just a bit like, ha.
Are they kind of like new age hippie types?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I kind of inferred. I thought it's kind of like that kind of thing. Like,
Okay. That, yeah. It was. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about the way that the aliens were presented as still being very humanoid and very like, you know, if you want to be truly alien, that's what I loved about Under the Skin. It was like, it was a humanoid, but it was like so odd. It was truly alien. And this was not. This was very much like a kind of Plan 9 from outer space style. They're just humans in a spaceship, like floating.
Yeah,
and that was kind of the idea. I think that's an intentional thing. And also, maybe I should have paid more attention to the fact that the title cards show a flat Earth as well.
Yeah,
like it was more of a joke than I was.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's like a fantasy come true.
Yeah. Just
Maybe.
a joke. That's it. Like
a sort of like a Taxi Driver style ending. You know, like a dream.
Yeah, or like this is what is this what you want? This is what you want Earth to be like. Is this really what you want? Like,
again, could it just be a terrible person like They Live? Is it just a terrible ruling elite?
Yeah,
or is it just aliens?
That could be it.
I mean, because the film frames that kind of again, we've said this already, but that CEO, corporate elite, get up at 4 a.m. write a fucking diary and get some guy to come over your house so you can do kickboxing with them or whatever.
Oh yeah, green smoothies stuff.
Yeah. It's like, you know, it's slickly sterile, isn't it? It's measured. There's no time spared. You know, and I think the advent of social media has really kind of created that kind of as an aspiration. You know, getting up early, you're wasting the day. Every minute that you're not in a gratitude diary or hitting a punching bag or bossing a meeting, you're essentially wasting your life, you piece of shit.
Yeah, right.
You know, how dare you have any time for any frivolity or fancy or fun? You know, you need to be sprinting all the time.
Alpha.
Yeah. You know, and there's something otherworldly and alien about that. Like, a lot of those people don't really tell you that. I mean, I imagine you probably could live it, and I may be just choosing to deliberately ignore the more simple ideas of it because I'm lazy, and I'm sure as shit not getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning.
It's just not sustainable.
No,
right?
it's not. Yeah, Jake
humanity. I don't know. I don't
Stuff
think
you
anyone
will
could
class
do that.
basics
I don't think
up your
anyone
arse.
does that. They can present an idea of themselves doing that.
Well, that's what I mean. It's almost like alien. Like, and the whole point of it is that the vast majority of people aren't going to do that.
Yeah, maybe for a
but they still aspire to it, even if they're not going to do it. And that's where the kind of alienation comes from.
Okay,
right?
so maybe that's where the angle it was taking.
Yeah.
And I just didn't. I do want to see it again. I mean,
yeah,
because it is there are probably little nuggets in there which will kind of push me down a certain road with it that I just didn't get on a first viewing. Also, it does look very pretty as well.
Yeah,
I should say
very
it's
handsomely shot
very
film.
nice. It's
Yeah.
VistaVision, which is
Really?
the Brutalist and this and another one.
Oh, that's strange that there's really
One battle after another. Yeah.
I am interested that that's not even been part of the marketing material in the slightest. When the other films it has,
I know. Yeah, no,
that's
it is,
weird
though.
to me.
Yeah. It was VistaVision.
I never knew that. Wow.
There you go. Got it all.
Just quickly then, before the outro, Hollywood remakes.
Oh yeah, fuck.
We'll shoehorn this in at the end.
Yeah.
But in my mind, we were going to gracefully interweave it into the discussion, but that's not happened.
Totally.
I feel that there's obviously films like this make me think there is scope to do it. But the cynic in me often thinks, and there are probably a disproportionately higher amount of films that fit this mold, but the reason that a lot of these films exist is because they are, the ideas that are compelling or interesting enough that come from filmmakers around the world aren't interesting enough because they are from around the world. And because of that, they don't have the same sensibilities, or of course, there's the language barrier, which means audiences have to read.
Yeah.
Is that too cynical?
No, because I watched the film The Guilty recently, the American remake.
Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah, fucking hell. Like, it's clearly just like regurgitated, and they had to add ideas to it. Like, the simplicity of the original, the Dutch one, is
great.
So good. It's like one of the most
really
nail-biting films I've ever seen. And there is an American, it's not exclusively American, but there's a tendency in Hollywood to take an idea, buy the rights. It's probably cheaper than buying a screenplay from a well-known screenwriter. Kind of adding stuff to it. In the case of The Guilty, they added the California wildfires, which has no bearing on the plot whatsoever.
Is that just to contextualize it? Is it just one of those things, just like, this is in America now?
Yeah. And I think there's a visual metaphor thing going on, as like this, everything's burning around you, sort of thing. But like, so just don't bother. Like, I don't know. I think you're not cynical in saying that, because it is such a shame that people just aren't willing to read subtitles.
I do find that slightly mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I know that for everyone, film is just entertainment. Not everyone is going to sit and fawn over the films like we do.
Yeah, no,
some people, fucking hell, you've done like a 10-hour shift at work. You're not going to want to do that. And I get that.
Yeah.
But I just think you should open yourself up as much as you can and as much as is possible to the idea of doing it, because
I think, and
you're just going to be rewarded. I don't, it's
the best ones. The subtitles are there for the dialogue, but they will speak for themselves visually as well. And The Guilty is a largely dialogue-driven film because it's all set in an office. But there's just something. If anything, the concept is so rich that it's worth the read. I think. But on the flip side of that, we do get films like The Departed, which is a remake of a film from Hong Kong, I think.
Yeah, Infernal Affairs.
Infernal Affairs, yeah. And that's not the only example. I think the best ones tend to be ones that take the concept and build on it, not just add shit for no reason.
And they come from people that probably have a lot of reverence for not just the sort of source material, but world cinema generally, and they want to do it justice. And if they are going to take the film and recontextualize it in a more Western setting, they're going to do it properly.
Yeah.
They're not just doing it to take as you say, take the idea and just sort of lazily sort of situate it in a Western context. I think there has to be a concerted effort on the part of those involved to legitimize it. But I mean, I would say watch both. Watch Infernal Affairs and then The Departed.
Totally,
It's a long night. But
I watched like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I watched the remake first, and I was like, thought it was all right. And then I watched the original, and I thought that was slightly worse. And then I watched the remake again. I was like, that's fucking brilliant. It's like one of my favourite Fincher films now.
Right, okay, yeah, fair play.
And I think it's miles better than the original. Another good example, a weird example actually, Vanilla Sky. It's a remake of Open Your Eyes.
Okay.
Which apparently is excellent. I haven't seen that one.
I don't really like Vanilla Sky very much, so...
Yeah, it's a strange one. I think the only issue I had with it was that it became a Tom Cruise sort of star vehicle thing. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Open Your Eyes' ending is much less hopeful and more critical.
Okay, and that's another thing, right? If you're gonna appease sort of Western audiences, you're gonna take out some of the bite of the original films, right?
Yeah, quite often take out the social commentary or take out the...
Simplify it.
Yeah, exactly.
And make it more digestible.
And I think that's the case with quite a few of these. Like,
go on, rattle through some.
All right, let's go for it. Let Me In, remake of the Let the Right One In.
Did Matthew Reeves direct that?
He did, Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
The Departed, obviously. The Ring remake, Ringu. I actually didn't mind the remake of The Ring too much.
Not too bad.
The Grudge remake of Ju-on. The original Ju-on, The Grudge is fucking terrifying. The remake is not. Actually, that's another thing. J-horror adaptations tend to be less scary than the...
Yeah.
You've got Sorcerer.
Oh,
the
shit.
remake of Wages of Fear.
God, yeah. Do you know, but then you get a rare experience like that where you love them both equally, but for different reasons.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean,
the tension in Sorcerer is... but it's more apparent.
Yeah.
But I much prefer the characters in Wages of Fear.
There we go. And you have Old Boy as well, which was a stupid, needless remake of
what are you doing, Spike?
Yeah. I mean, I think Old Boy as a film, the 2003 one, was perfectly digestible in a Western context for a start. Like, I think...
Yeah, we love incest. Spoilers.
Yeah. Fools forget about that. Actually. It's a shocking ending.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, God. There we go.
Yeah. So in the context of Bugonia, where does it sit?
In terms of...
I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't think it's as good as my memory of Save the Green Planet.
Save the Green Planet.
But at the same time, I wouldn't know where... I'd put it nowhere near Old Boy.
But yeah, no.
Spike Lee's Old Boy.
Presumably it has enough thematic richness compared to the original. I mean, the original, based on the title, sounds very sort of ecologically
there's a bit more of that, I think.
A bit more bee stuff about the bees.
I think this film, it does a good job to if you could take the idea of a film and, apply it to, a changed time.
Okay, yeah.
And I think this film does a good job of updating and modernising it. Not to say that the original is by that virtue, old and not worth it. Like it has its place. But yeah, no, I think it's a worthy,
definitely
a worthy kind of Western remake and a worthy addition to Lanthimos.
Lanthimos, yeah.
Lanthimos' filmography because he, what was the film we did? That Kinds of Kindness. I said this in the outro of the last episode. The first story is really good. It goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
And that style, you've got to do. I don't know. I feel like.
Is he going to run out of goodwill eventually with it? Do you think?
I don't know. Because I always kind of quite enjoy his films. I've never come out of one of his films thinking it was totally shit.
No.
Even the ones I've not been as keen on, they kind of over time my criticism soften. So obviously there's something for me anyway.
Yeah,
something works, but
definitely. Yeah.
I would it's always interesting with these kinds of filmmakers whose style is so distinctive. How long can they keep it going? Before Emma Stone moves on.
Yeah, I mean, she's just like totally in his slipstream, isn't she?
Yeah, and she's very good.
She's very good. Yeah,
I mean, she's like steadily very good there, and I don't mean that. That almost sounds like a backhanded compliment, but she's so good that you just expect you expect like that, don't you? Like, good.
Yeah,
like really good, but like not like wow. Plemons is the wow factor in this film for me, personally.
Yeah, Plemons is the one kind of holding the reins, actually.
Yeah,
more so than you'd be led to believe with the sort of marketing materials.
Understandable, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
given the fruitful nature of the collaboration between Lanthimos and Stone.
Yeah,
and how mutually beneficial that's been for both of them.
Evidently, yeah.
Outro.
Questing the cinematic void.
There we have it then.
Yes.
Episode 93 of Cinebois to Cinemen. I really enjoyed that. I'm glad to see a film like this sort of be in a lot of people's... I was talking about it at work today. It seemed like a film that might come and go, but Lanthimos is actually very popular amongst sort of Englanders.
Yeah. That's funny actually. Yeah, thinking about like that, his films seem to break out because obviously he has that kind of arty-farty edge to him, doesn't he? But I think there's something about his style that makes that more accessible to people outside of the realms of
totally, yeah,
the beret-clad
I'm going to be
discerning
lending.
cinephile.
Yeah, I'm going to be lending Dogtooth to everyone. I'm like, just watch it. What's it about? Just watch it.
Just watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, do you know Joseph Fritzl? Kind of adjacent to that.
No, you're not having it. I'm not having it back.
Yeah. Please keep it. I've got so many copies of Dogtooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's doing well. I haven't actually looked.
No, me neither.
You should look.
Surprise, surprise.
For those of you who are listening, look up how well it's
The
doing.
box office figures.
Yeah. And whatever it says on Wikipedia, it's that. Next week,
Die My Love.
yes, which a film that I mean, Lynn Ramsey. You're a huge fan of Ratcatcher, aren't you?
Yeah.
I really enjoy Ratcatcher. I haven't seen a great deal of her other films. I've seen a couple of other movies, but there's a lot of blind spots as well. Like I haven't seen like You Were Never Really Here.
Oh yeah,
the
it's pretty
Joaquin
good.
Phoenix
Yeah. More Than Colour. Have you seen that?
That's another one that I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Not done a Lynn Ramsey film before.
Nope.
And I'd be curious to know what her style is, how and kind of what makes a Lynn Ramsey film a Lynn Ramsey film, really. And
Yeah, and it feels like she's really. I mean, obviously, I've not seen the film yet, but the trailer, and I know trailers take all ambiguity out of a film and put it down to its base, more action-orientated elements. But it feels like this is the film that's kind of, she's stepping into a slightly higher
okay,
thing. Like I think a lot of her films, even You're Never Really Here, even despite the presence of Joaquin Phoenix, who's obviously a pretty big film star in his own right. But I just think that this feels like she's going up a gear. She's up a notch.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
With the presence of who's involved and
very popular actors.
Jennifer
Lawrence and
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Have they worked together before them too?
I don't believe so.
It's a good pair.
Yeah.
Generationally, I think.
Yeah.
They kind of rose to prominence around the same time. So
both sort of shepherded their own franchises and have both spent a lot of their careers trying to shake that off.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I think is another thing that makes me think, because this film's been marketed really quite aggressively, I think on the account of both of them.
That's it, yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that comes up about them talking about that, their mutual experiences of doing it and how much they kind of hated it.
Like a Vanity Fair.
All that kind of stuff, which I kind of always find a bit slightly irritating. But
it is everywhere now, isn't it?
But, it's here and fucking... Ugh. But, it's interesting anyway, that aside, that they've both come from that world and are now kind of like, seemingly doing everything they can to get away from it. It's interesting in itself. But I'm looking forward to it. Big Lynn Ramsey fan.
Yeah, I've worked with a couple of people who have ended up working on this film as well.
So maybe we can get them to give some insider.
I hope so. Yeah, I'll definitely.
That's what this podcast is lacking more than anything else. Insider knowledge. We're too peripheral.
Oh yeah, not with Die My Love. There's going to be some industry
tidbits,
insider information. I'm not promising anything. He might just
say no.
He moved to London, so he might just not reply to me, and that will be that. We'll find out next week.
Does he listen?
I don't think so. He might do. If he does, he's kept quiet about what he thinks of it, so maybe not. Maybe this will get him listening to it.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
By God, we need him.
Yeah. We'll see about getting some kind of tidbit. He might be under an NDA or something, which is fair enough.
Surely not now the film's out, though.
I don't know, maybe, yeah. I don't know if you're still not allowed to talk about the experience making it, whether that has to be under lock and key. I wish I did, but yeah. Oh, we'll give it a go. We'll see if I can...
Yeah, ping him a message.
Absolutely, yeah.
In the meantime, thank you for getting to the end of another episode.
Thank you very much.
Continued support is always welcome. And we'll see you in the next one. Die My Love.
Catch you in the next one.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Take it easy. Yeah.
Bye.